GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good morning. Tonight we'll see Pierre-Luc Brillant back in the Rosemont race and reports of nighttime gunfire in Rivière-des-Prairies and St. Mitchell. Traffic's light on Autoroute 30, though the National Bank Open is nudging a few metro delays. Over to you, Ryan.
Jacob Dobish says he's comfortable whether the Canadians use 2 or 3 goaltenders heading into the upcoming season.
Alexander Carrier highlights the team's youth and playoff experience as a strength for Montreal moving forward this season.
Cole Caulfield is earning league-wide recognition after ranking 9th among wingers on NHL Network's list this week.
All right, let's get into it and begin today's headlines, starting with the top local stories you need to know. Here are our top stories. Pierre-Luc Brillant is returning as the Parti Québécois candidate in Montreal's Rosemont riding, where he placed third in the 2022 election behind Québec Solidaire and the coalition Avenir Québec. José Cartier has the full story.
Pierre-Luc Brillant is back on the ballot as the Parti Québécois candidate in Rosemont, aiming to improve on his previous showing. In the 2022 provincial race, he finished third, behind the Québec Solidaire contender and the coalition Avenir Québec incumbent. Brillant says his campaign will focus on affordable housing, public transit, and protecting French-language services in the neighborhood. The riding, a densely populated area of Montreal's east side, has swung between progressive and center-right representatives in recent cycles. As the election approaches, both parties are mobilizing volunteers and door-to-door canvassing to win over undecided voters. Local small business owners hope the PQ platform will address rising rent and support community initiatives. José Cartier, GMNA News, Rosemont.
Police confirmed multiple nighttime gunfire incidents on Saturday in the Rivière-des-Prairies and St. Mitchell neighborhoods. Officers from the Service de Police de la Ville de Montreal responded to calls of discharge of firearms after dark, securing the areas while residents were advised to remain indoors. The investigations remain active, but no arrests have been made to date. SPVM spokesperson said detectives are reviewing surveillance footage and interviewing witnesses to identify those responsible. Both neighborhoods, situated on the island's east side, have seen increased police patrols following the shootings. Residents were urged to report any suspicious activity or additional information to the police hotline. Neighborhood watch groups have been mobilized, and local schools were notified to keep students safe during the evening hours. The department emphasized that public safety remains a priority as they work to bring the perpetrators to justice.
St. Pie Council voted yesterday to set aside a portion of the 57-year-old Sanner racetrack as a land reserve for a possible new high school. The venue sits just north of the town's main thoroughfare, near the junction of Highway 15 and Route 1. The motion, approved by the elected officials, earmarks the historic track's grounds for future educational development, addressing a growing demand for secondary school space in the region. While the proposal has ignited debate among local leaders, the council's decision moves the project from speculation to a defined planning stage. Officials said the reserve will remain inactive until provincial approval and funding are secured, but the designation signals a commitment to repurposing the longtime racing venue for community use. The move follows months of discussion about the racetrack's future, with supporters emphasizing the need for modern school facilities and opponents warning of lost heritage.
A silver alert was lifted today after an 80-year-old Cowansville woman, reported missing earlier this week, was safely located by the Sûreté du Québec. Denise Larivière has the full story.
Police in Quebec have called off a silver alert after an 80-year-old woman from Cowansville was located, ending the province's senior missing person alert. The Sûreté du Québec said the woman, who had been reported missing earlier this week, was found safe today. Officers confirmed she was in stable condition and no foul play was suspected. In Quebec, a silver alert is triggered when an older adult is reported missing, prompting radio stations, television channels, and highway message boards to broadcast the description and last known location. The alert, which had been broadcast across those platforms, was lifted shortly after her discovery. Authorities reminded the public that silver alerts rely on rapid community reporting. The case is now closed. Denis Lariviere, GMNA News, Cowansville.
Canada's unemployment rate slipped this month as the labor market added 75,000 positions nationwide, according to Statistics Canada. The national decline was modest, while the province of Quebec recorded a slight uptick in its unemployment figure. The data, released for August 2026, show that the surge in job creation was the primary driver behind the contrasting trends. Across the country, the added jobs lowered the overall unemployment percentage, whereas Quebec's modest rise reflects a regional variance despite the same national employment growth. Statistics Canada said the figures underscore the impact of recent hiring activity on the labor market. The agency will continue to monitor employment trends as the economy evolves. The unemployment rate fell by a fraction of a percentage point nationally, while Quebec's rate rose by a similar margin. Economists note that the net gain of 75,000 jobs represents the latest quarterly increase in hiring activity. Stay tuned as we dig into the toddler who survived a car stroller crash in our city, plus more local headlines. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. Police say a 20-month-old child survived a collision between a vehicle and a stroller in the St. Laurent borough last Thursday. Officers responded to a report of a car striking a stroller near the intersection of St. Laurent Boulevard and St. Denis Street. The infant was pulled from the wreckage and rushed to a hospital, where doctors confirmed the child's condition stabilized after treatment for bruises and a broken wrist. No other passengers were involved, and the driver remained at the scene pending investigation. Montreal police have opened a case to determine the cause of the crash. The incident adds to ongoing concerns about pedestrian safety in busy urban corridors, where strollers and cyclists regularly share the road with traffic. Authorities continue to urge drivers to exercise extra caution in residential neighborhoods throughout the city.
Police responded to a soccer game at Maisonneuve Elementary School in Hochelaga, Maisonneuve on August 7, 2026, 7 p.m., deploying 5 officers and 2 patrol cars before ordering 3 youths off the field. Marion Kate has the full story.
At about 7 o'clock this evening, 5 officers in black uniforms, bulletproof vests and belts loaded with weapons arrived in 2 patrol cars at the Maisonneuve Elementary Schoolyard in the Hochelaga Maisonneuve neighborhood. They entered the playground while a group of 3 pre-adolescent children were in the middle of a soccer match. The officers ordered the youngsters to leave the field and escorted them off the premises. Witness Nome, RBIU said the police moved quickly, clearing the area within minutes. The children complied and were taken away from the schoolyard. No further incident was reported. The incident occurred on August 7, 2026. At approximately 7 p.m., police said the action was precautionary and no injuries were reported among the children or officers. Marion Kate, GMNA News, Hochelaga Maisonneuve.
Researchers have confirmed that a tornado struck the Montreal suburb of Repentigny on Sunday, August 2nd, tearing through residential streets and toppling dozens of trees. The twister, embedded in a broader storm system, left visible damage to several homes and small commercial structures before moving on. Meteorologists noted that the funnel formed briefly, but with enough intensity to rip roofs and shatter windows, prompting the provincial emergency response team to assess safety hazards. Local officials said initial inspections revealed structural damage, but no reported fatalities, though a few injuries required medical attention. The study, conducted by a team from the Quebec Weather Research Center, examined radar data and eyewitness accounts to verify the event's classification as a tornado rather than a straight-line wind gust. Cleanup efforts are now underway, with crews clearing debris and restoring power to affected neighborhoods.
Yesterday, veteran journalist Jean-François Cloutier of the Journal de Montreal declared his entry into provincial politics, announcing he will stand as the Parti Québécois candidate in the Montreal riding on the South Shore. Cloutier, known for his investigative reporting, said his decision reflects a desire to bring a journalist's perspective to the legislature. The Parti Québécois, long a fixture of Quebec's sovereignty movement, confirmed his nomination at a gathering in the riding's Municipal Hall. Montreal, a mixed-language district that swings between Liberal and CAQ representation, will now see a high-profile media figure contest the upcoming election. Political analysts noted the candidacy could reshape the party's outreach in the South Shore region. The announcement follows a week of intensified campaign activity across the province as parties position themselves for the fall ballot.
Montreal's STM announced the Green Line will run exclusively with legacy Mr. 73 subway cars beginning in 2031, replacing newer wagons on that route. Jesse Cartier has the full story.
Starting in 2030, when the Green Line will run solely with the legacy Mr. 73 subway cars, the STM announced today. The move means the line's entire fleet will be made up of vehicles that the agency says are 11 times less reliable than the newer wagons currently being introduced on other routes. The Mr. 73 series, first delivered in the 70s, now forms the backbone of Montreal's metro system but has been aging for decades. Officials say the decision reflects the timeline for retiring the older fleet and the schedule for new equipment arrivals. The change will affect daily commuters across the city as the transition unfolds. Jesse Cartier, GMNA News, Montreal.
Let's get a look at your morning forecast with our weather team, keeping you ahead of the day.
A swath of high-pressure air and a swift southwest jet set a blistering, cloud-laden Saturday. On this date, Montreal once burned to 32.3 degrees Celsius in 2025, a record set during a lingering heat wave that pushed the city into the mid-30s for several days. The coldest mark was 12.8 degrees Celsius in 2016, recorded when a sudden Arctic front slipped south behind a weak trough, snapping temperatures well below the norm. By contrast, the climate normal for today sits around 26 degrees high and 14 degrees low, underscoring how today's forecast sits between those extremes. The live radar shows a canvas across southern Quebec, with no echoes over the island or countryside. That emptiness reflects the high-pressure ridge dominating the region, squeezing moisture from the lower levels and allowing the southwest jet to glide aloft without lift. With the jet streaming at 124 kilometers per hour, any stray band would be swept eastward within an hour, but none are present. I now turn to today's surface outlook. At 7 a.m., the sky hangs over Montreal in a thick overcast, temperature 21 degrees, humidity 97%, and a barely perceptible wind from the southwest at 1 kilometer per hour. The dew point sits at 20 degrees, keeping the air muggy. Pressure is near average and nudging upward, signaling a gradual drying and stabilizing of the column. Overhead, the jet stream races southwestward at 124 kilometers per hour, steering any upper-level disturbances far to the east and reinforcing the surface ridge. With the ridge in place, daytime heating will push temperatures to a high of 30 degrees before dipping to 20 at night. UV index registers 6. Winds will remain light, never exceeding 25 kilometers per hour, and no weather alerts are active. That brings us to the 5-day outlook. The next 5 days swing between clear warmth and mid-week moisture. Sunday will be pleasant with a high of 26 degrees and a low of 18, skies clear and a gentle breeze. Monday brings a return of cloud cover, high 24, low 18, and a lingering overcast that keeps the sun hidden. Tuesday brightens again, 25 highs and 18 lows under a clear dome. Wednesday reintroduces clouds and the first chance of rain, high 24, low 18, with a 60% probability as a weak frontal wave nudges the ridge edge. Thursday turns cooler and wetter, high 22, low 15, and a 65% chance of rain despite mostly clear skies early. The pattern reflects the ridge slowly eroding under a southwest jet, allowing cooler air and moisture to creep in. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunrise is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Up next, traffic on Autoroute 30, a look at Capitaine Sandwich's new St. Lawrence spot, plus We Touch Grass events. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
The biggest slowdown this morning is on Autoroute 30 at Varennes, where the westbound Picardy ramp is closed and the stretch between the Picardy and Lac ramps remains under major construction. Expect a queue of at least 15 minutes, especially during the peak hour. Further west, Autoroute 30 at Vaudreuil-Dorion Exit 2 is also under a major hindrance, adding roughly 10 minutes to travel. A minor bottleneck at Chateauguay between R132 and Exit 41 is holding traffic but moving steadily. All other major arteries, including the downtown core and the expressways, are flowing freely. On the metro, the National Bank Open is crowding Jean Drapeau and Barry Uckham stations, with bikes and dogs barred, so commuters should allow extra time. Looking ahead to the afternoon, the western segment of Autoroute 30 should clear as crews finish work, easing the flow for evening travelers.
Fierté Montreal Parade rolls through the village on Rue Sainte-Catherine-Est this afternoon, capping the city's Pride celebration with music, color, and community spirit, perfect for a quick stroll before work. It's a vibrant showcase of local artists and allies, and the route is stroller-friendly. Later, the underground venue Les Foufons Electriques transforms into an anime-themed rave hosted by We Touch Grass, where electronic beats meet cosplay, giving fans a chance to dance the night away. If you prefer a quieter pace, join the nature walk and crochet at the Grand Staircase of Mount Royal, a guided trek through the park followed by a cozy crochet circle, great for fresh air and a creative break. And don't miss the final days of Autocuthon at the Palais des Congrès, where anime lovers can still catch panels and cosplay contests before the doors close this weekend. It's the biggest anime gathering in Canada, so grab a last-minute ticket and dive into the pop culture buzz. And now here's Tyler with sports.
The Canadiens are building something real. Here is where things stand. The goaltending picture in Montreal heading into 2026-27 is still taking shape, but Jacob Dobish is not sweating it. He says he is ready whether the Canadiens carry 2 netminders or 3. Meanwhile, Alexander Carrier points to a roster that is still the league's youngest, now with multiple playoff rounds under its belt. That combination matters. 2 names, 2 contracts, 1 massive front office advantage. Lane Hutson and Ivan Demidov are drawing league-wide attention. Hutson projected to become the NHL's top defenseman within 5 years, and both players holding what analysts call arguably the 2 best value deals in the entire league. That cap flexibility is the Canadiens' blueprint. Cole Caulfield landed 9th on NHL Network's winger rankings, league-wide recognition for what Canadiens fans already know. Meanwhile, Kent Hughes is weighing moves to accelerate this rebuild, and unrestricted free agent Patrick Lane is being floated as an affordable offensive addition. The front office has options.
Capitaine Sandwich on Rue Saint-Laurent in the Plateau just opened its second storefront, marking a milestone for the homegrown sandwich shop that first won over locals with its Quebec-inspired creations. After a thriving first year on St. Denis, the team added 15 new jobs and a fresh dining room where the aroma of smoked pork and maple spice cheese drifts onto the bustling street. The new location brings the beloved poutine banh mi and other handcrafted bites closer to families, students, and artists who call the plateau home, reinforcing the neighborhood's reputation as a culinary playground. For Montrealers, Capitaine Sandwich isn't just a lunch spot. It's a reminder that our city's flavor grows when we support local dreamers. We'll hear the premier explain why U.S. alcohol stays off provincial shelves and its impact on shoppers. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. Quebec's premier reaffirmed that U.S. spirits will remain absent from the province's government-run liquor stores, emphasizing provincial authority over any potential national policy shift. Philippe Nadeau has the full story.
The province's liquor monopoly confirmed that American spirits, wines and beers will not appear on its shelves. The announcement was made on Saturday afternoon. The premier reiterated the decision during a press briefing, saying Quebec will keep exclusive control over any change to the current ban on U.S. alcohol. Officials noted that recent rumors of a nationwide policy shift have not altered the provincial stance. While Ottawa debates easing the restriction, the Quebec government insists the authority to permit or reject imports rests solely with the province. Store managers are instructed to continue rejecting shipments from across the border, and consumers can expect the same selection as before. Philippe Nadeau, GMNA News, Quebec.
Scientists are testing water samples to see if the contagious brown bullhead catfish cancer found in Quebec has moved into New Brunswick lakes and rivers, a disease first identified 40 years ago. Scott Young has the full story.
Researchers led by Scott Young are now sampling water and fish in New Brunswick lakes, comparing them with data from Quebec, where a contagious cancer has been affecting brown bullhead catfish for 40 years. Field teams are netting catfish, taking tissue samples, and running genetic tests to see if the same malignant cells appear across the provincial border. The project is an effort between university labs and wildlife agencies of the provinces, employing environmental DNA analysis alongside netting. Results will tell whether the pathogen has crossed St. Lawrence watershed into the Miramichi and Restigouche river systems. Monitoring began in spring after the Quebec outbreak was confirmed and will run through the summer. Effort aims to map expansion before disease impacts fisheries and ecosystem health. Marion Kate, GMNA News, New Brunswick.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunrise. Today's brave toddler who survived a car stroller crash reminded us of the resilience in our community. We appreciate your trust, and we'll be back tomorrow with more stories that matter to you. Stay safe and see you then.